I'm sorry to do this, but it's the 4th of July and I'm running low on fireworks. So I gotta make do with what I got. And right now, that's a permit, a torch, a giant bottle rocket, and an annoying spoiled brat that no one's gonna care if she goes missing. And just in case you were wondering, I wasn't talking about Silver Spoon. But hey, look on the bright side, you'll finally be a part of something that everyone likes. A fiery display of colorful explosions. You'll thank me for this one day. Or not. Either way, I don't care. Happy 4th of July, every pony! So yeah, that's pretty much all I did for this 4th of July, Shark. Nothing big, just some regular firework displays. Now, if you'd be so kind as to pay my bail while the intro starts up, I'd greatly appreciate it. So after getting a great slice of life episode, and 2 less than exciting episodes, M A Larson hits it out of the park with a great episode of revisiting old friendships and learning from past mistakes. So without further delay, let's get started. As the episode begins, we see Twilight and Spike taking a break after a week of 3 scheduled events and a day's worth of housework. However, when Spike points out how much of a better friend Twilight is now than before they moved to Ponyville, she quickly realizes that she never treated her old friends back in Canterlot with the same kind of love and appreciation as she does her current friends. So being the princess of friendship, and having the need to be perfect, Twilight sets out to find and make it up to them, and their first stop is Twilight's old home, which acts as a haunting reminder of how Twilight used to be back then, constantly locking herself away from the rest of the world, making little to no friends, and focusing on one of the only things she valued at the time, her books. This is a pretty in-depth scene as it shows not only how far Twilight has come since her days in Canterlot, but also how, despite the fact that she's a princess, she still has numerous flaws and weaknesses that make her a relatable and overall great character. After a little research, Twilight and Spike make their next stop at Minuet's place, and are surprised to find out that even though they haven't spoken to her in over a year now, she doesn't have any anger or frustration towards Twilight and is actually just very happy to see her. And before I continue, I just want to point out that I love Minuet's character in this episode. She's fun, energetic, and just flat out adorable to watch. This is exactly how I wanted to see the writers expand on some of the background characters, by reintroducing them later on in the series and giving them just enough screen time to further develop their character in a way that doesn't feel like it was meant for plot convenience. Another thing I like about this episode is how believable the situations and the character interactions are. In the next scene, we see Twilight give a heart-filled apology about how she mistreated her friendship back in the day, but instead of being met with feelings of anger and betrayal, her friends just laugh and poke fun at the situation as none of them had anything against Twilight when she left for Ponyville, and are now just happy to have an old friend back in their life. Keep this up, M A Larson, and you might just be my new favorite writer of the show. Anyways, after an adorable flashback, Twilight and them head over to Moondancer's place, but instead of being met with the same kind of welcome as Minuet, they get turned away as she much rather study than catch up with old friends. It's later revealed that ever since Twilight didn't show up to her party back in Friendship is Magic, she's been isolating herself from the rest of the world and has been focusing more on her studies rather than trying to make new friends. Basically, she became what Twilight would have been if not for discovering the magic of friendship. That's both interesting and really sad when you think about it. But hey, at least Twilight had a good reason for missing the party. I mean, come on, the return of Nightmare Moon, bringing forth eternal night, seems like a pretty good excuse if you ask me. But back to the episode. Realizing her mistake, Twilight tries to make it up to Moondancer, but has a hard time getting her to sit and listen to what she has to say. Eventually, she manages to get her attention by popping into one of her books, which by the way was a pretty funny scene, and later convinces her to have dinner with her and the rest of the gang by offering to teach her the spell she used to get inside the book. However, despite Twilight's best efforts, the dinner doesn't work in restoring their friendship as Moondancer still has no interest in reconnecting with Twilight or the others. This is a big hit to her as she not only failed as a princess but also as a friend. Throughout her life, Twilight has struggled to learn about friendship and what it means to be a good friend. So to see all that she worked for get torn down because of one mistake she made long ago is a really upsetting moment for her. With nowhere else left to turn, Twilight calls Pinkie Pie in to plan a party for Moondancer, and here is where things get intense. Unable to hold her emotions back any longer, Moondancer releases all of her anger and frustration she had building up inside of her on Twilight and reveals just how much her actions have affected her life.
I felt like I wasn't important. I never wanted to let myself be hurt like that again. Those three finally convinced me that I had value, that other ponies might like me and want to be my friend, and you didn't show up!
Okay, wow. This was by far the most powerful and emotionally heavy scene in the whole show. Not only was this scene perfectly executed, but it was one I'm sure many of the audience can relate to. Twilight owns up to her mistakes and shows that while she may have been a bad friend to her in the past, that hasn't stopped Moondancer from making new friends by herself. And the episode ends in the best way possible. Everyone having a blast and Moondancer receiving a thoughtful gift that helps pull her out of her shy and studious lifestyle and brings her into a life full of good times with friends. And that's Amending Fences, every pony. And what I thought about it should not come as a surprise. This episode had a great story that was well executed and very believable. It had a lot of interesting and memorable characters that I hope make a return in future episodes. It had a great balance between its emotional aspects and the comedic ones. Never once did I feel either of them were over the top or pointless. But by far the best parts of this episode were its relatable situations and its wonderful heart-filled moral. I'm definitely gonna look out for more episodes by M A Larson, not just because I love these types of stories, but because I think there's something big going on in the background because of one particular scene. So yeah, this was an episode I will never stop raving about, and I hope you don't either. Thanks for watching, I'm your raving lunatic Blue Wave, and I will catch you later.